The alarm blared across the command bridge of the Klar warship Deathbringer*. Commander Doyen Kim's 4 eyes narrowed as he studied the display. A small ship had entered their sector, moving at speeds that suggested either advanced technology or reckless pilots. "Unknown vessel detected," reported the sensor officer. "Design matches no known species in our database." Doyen rose from his command chair. His tall, thin body towered over the other Klar. The Klar Dominion ruled this sector of space. Any unauthorized ship was either lost, stupid, or looking for trouble. "Intercept and capture," Doyen ordered. "I want to know who dares enter Klar space without permission." The Deathbringer* moved with deadly grace. The Klar were known across the galaxy as the most feared bounty hunters and killers. Their ships, like their bodies, were built for hunting. Within minutes, they surrounded the small vessel. "They are not responding to our demands to surrender," said the communications officer. Doyen clicked his mandibles together. "Use the tractor beam. Bring them into docking bay 3. The small ship fought against the pull, but it was useless. The Deathbringer* dragged it into the belly of the warship like a predator swallowing prey. "Prepare the welcome squad," Doyen said. "Full armor. Unknown species means unknown risks." The Klar soldiers surrounded the strange ship, weapons ready. The vessel's design was unlike anything they had seen before. It was built for function, not beauty, with thick hull plates and powerful engines. "They're opening their hatch," reported squad leader Taedong through the comm. "Standing by." Doyen watched through the security feed as the ship's door slid open. He expected to see aliens in protective suits. All species needed them to survive the Klar ship's atmosphere and gravity, which the Klar kept at their homeworld's natural levels. But what emerged made Doyen's blood run cold. 3 beings walked out, completely unprotected. No breathing masks. No gravity supports. Nothing. They stood upright in the Klar's heavy gravity, as if it were normal. They breathed the dense, high-nitrogen air without difficulty. "Impossible," whispered Doyen. The aliens were bipedal, with 2 arms, 2 legs, and a single head with 2 forward-facing eyes. Their skin colors ranged from light tan to deep brown. They had fur on their heads, but nowhere else visible. "We come in peace," said the lead alien in slightly accented galactic standard. "I am Captain Ju Park of the Earth exploration vessel *Pioneer*. This is Engineer Salman Lee and Security Officer Gun Choi." The Klar soldiers stepped back. The aliens, humans, noticed their reaction. "Is something wrong?" asked the one called Hyun. His hand moved slightly toward his hip, where a simple weapon was holstered. Doyen found his voice through the comm. "Bring them to interrogation chamber 1. Carefully." As the soldiers escorted the 3 humans, Doyen hurried to his private database. He entered a search term he had only read about in ancient texts: Deathworlder. The results made his outer membrane pale. *Class 5 Deathworld, a planet with extreme gravity, aggressive predators, deadly weather patterns, and tectonic instability. Any species evolving on such a world would develop exceptional strength, endurance, and resilience. Historical records indicate that Deathworlders are extremely dangerous, capable of surviving conditions that would kill most galactic citizens instantly. No confirmed encounters in the last 500 cycles. Approach with extreme caution. Doyen looked back at the screen showing the 3 humans walking comfortably in gravity that would crush most species. "Initiate background scans," he ordered. "I want to know everything about their physiology." The scans came in minutes later. Dense muscle tissue, thick bone structure, efficient respiratory system, internal fluid circulation system containing metal compounds, redundant organs, recovery mechanisms built into their very cells. "Sir," said his second-in-command, "should we execute standard interrogation protocols?" Doyen stared at the data scrolling across his screen. These humans came from a world that would kill any Klar in minutes. Their bodies were natural survival machines. "No," Doyen said quietly. "We must be Careful. Very careful. For the first time in his long career as a Klar commander, Doyen felt something he rarely experienced. Fear. The interrogation chamber on the Klar ship was designed to break the will of any species. Cold metal walls, bright, pulsing lights that hurt the eyes, air that changed from too hot to too cold without warning, and the sound, a low hum that grew slowly louder until it made most beings beg for silence. Intelligence Officer Taedong stood before Captain Ju Park, who sat calmly in a chair made of hard metal. They had been in the room for 2 hours. "Let's try again," Taedong said, his voice sharp. "Why is your ship in Klar space?" Ju-woo looked up, her face showing no signs of discomfort. "As I told you 5 times already, we are explorers. We didn't know this was your territory." In separate rooms, Engineer Somin Lee and Security Officer Hyun Choi were facing similar questions. Taeyong circled the human female. He had broken Zardak warriors, made Vex princes weep, and extracted secrets from the most hardened criminals in 3 sectors. But this human showed no fear. "The noise bothers you, yes." Taeyong increased the volume of the hum. Ju-woo tilted her head. "Is that supposed to be uncomfortable? It sounds like the engine room on our old mining ships." Taeyong blinked all 4 of his eyes in surprise. In the monitoring room, Commander Doyen watched the feeds from all 3 interrogation chambers. He noticed something strange. The humans were not just enduring the conditions. They seemed almost bored. "Increase temperature in Chamber 2 by 20 degrees, Doyen ordered. On the screen, Somin Lee removed her outer jacket as the room heated up. "That's better," she said. "It was a bit chilly before." Doyen's mandibles clicked nervously. The temperature in that room would cause most species to lose consciousness. In the 3rd chamber, Hyun Choi was testing the strength of his restraints. The Klar had used their standard bindings, metal bands that could hold creatures 3 times stronger than the average galactic citizen. "These are pretty good," Hyun commented, flexing his arms. "But I've broken out of worse." "You cannot break those," the interrogator said confidently. "They are designed to." A loud snap cut him off. One of the bands around Hyun's wrist cracked. The Klar guard stepped back in shock. Doyen immediately activated the emergency locks on all chambers. "Send in security teams. Now." In Chamber 2, Taeyong was growing frustrated with Somin's resistance. "Tell me about your fleet," he demanded. Somin looked confused. "Fleet? We're just a scouting vessel." "A scout for what?" Taeyong pressed. Somin hesitated. "Well, I guess for the exploration division. There are about 20 ships in our sector alone." Taeyong's membrane paled. 20 ships, all with crews like yours." "Oh no," Somin said, not realizing what she was revealing. "Most are much bigger. The Pioneer is just a small vessel. The main ships carry about 200 crew members each." In the monitoring room, Doyen felt his blood run cold. If each of those ships carried 200 Deathworlders. Suddenly, alarms blared throughout the ship. Doyen looked at the security feed from Chamber 3. Hyun Choi was free from his restraints and had disabled 2 guards. "All security teams to level 4. Doyen shouted, "Contain the human." But it was too late. Hyun moved with speed that seemed impossible for his solid frame. He struck with precision, not killing the guards but leaving them unconscious. "Sir," a voice came through Doyen's comm. "The ship is experiencing system failures across multiple decks." "What? How?" "Unknown, sir. But the failures started near Interrogation Chamber 2, where the female engineer is being held." Doyen stared at the screen showing Somin Lee, still sitting calmly in her restraints. But her eyes, they were tracking something on the ceiling, the environmental control panel. "Lock down all systems," Doyen ordered. "These humans are not what they seem." As chaos spread through the ship, Commander Doyen realized a terrible truth. The Klar Dominion, feared across the galaxy, had never faced anything like these humans before. and they were completely unprepared for what was coming. Captain Ju Park waited for her moment. The ship had suddenly lurched to one side, making her Klar guard stumble. When the alien turned to check the door controls, Ju made her move. She flexed her muscles against the restraints. On Earth, she had been a champion rock climber before joining the space program. The metal bands were strong, but they weren't designed for human strength. With a grunt and a sharp twist, she broke the left band, then the right one. The guard turned just as she stood up. "How did you?" The guard never finished. Ju struck with the heel of her hand, hitting the spot under the Klar's mandibles that looked most vulnerable. The alien dropped without a sound. "Sorry about that," Ju muttered. She grabbed the guard's weapon and comm device. 3 decks below, Hyun Choi was moving through the ship's halls like a shadow. His time in Earth's special forces had taught him how to navigate enemy territory. The Klar were searching for him, but they were looking in all the wrong places. Hyun paused at a junction and studied the ship's layout on a wall screen. The design was different from human ships, but the basics were the same. He found what he was looking for: environmental controls. With a few quick taps, he triggered alarms in 3 different sections of the ship, far from where the humans were being held. He watched with satisfaction as the security teams on the monitors rushed toward the false alarms. Meanwhile, Engineer Soman Lee had not broken free of her restraints. She didn't need to. While her interrogator was distracted by the alarms, she had been working on something else. The Klar had taken her tools but had missed the small device hidden in her boot. It was a universal interface, a hacker's dream. And now it was connected to the room's environmental panel. Come on," she whispered as her fingers flew over the tiny keyboard. The Klar systems were advanced, but followed basic programming rules. Within minutes, she had access to the ship's communication system. She sent a short burst transmission, encrypted with Earth fleet codes. Just 3 words: captured. *Deathbringer**. Help. Then she did something else. She set the ship's internal sensors to go offline in exactly 10 minutes. Just enough time. Commander Doyen was losing control of his ship. Alarms were blaring in multiple sections. Security teams reported finding nothing. And now internal sensors were acting strangely. "Find those humans," he shouted. "Lock down all escape pods and shuttle bays." But the humans weren't heading for escape pods. They had a different plan. Ju moved through the ship's maintenance tunnels. They were tight for the tall Klar, but perfect for her human size. She followed the map she had memorized from watching her guards' movements on control panels. At junction K7, she found Hyun waiting. "Took you long enough," he said with a smile. "Had to take the scenic route," she replied. "Soman should be here any." "Behind you," came Soman's voice. She squeezed through another tunnel, grinning. "Miss me?" Ju checked her stolen comm device. "We have 8 minutes before they realize their sensors are completely blind. We need to get to our ship." "It'll be guarded," Hyun warned. "Not for long," Soman said. "I set the docking bay fire suppression system to trigger in about now." The ship's announcement system came to life. "Warning. Fire detected in docking bay 3. All personnel evacuate immediately." The 3 humans moved quickly through the maintenance tunnels toward their ship. When they reached the final junction, they peered out. The bay was cloudy with fire suppression foam, but their ship, the Pioneer sat untouched. And it wasn't alone. "That's not one of ours," Hyun said, pointing to a second small vessel that had somehow docked during the chaos. The new ship's hatch opened. A human figure appeared and waved urgently. "Captain Sun Wukong," Ju whispered. "Fleet sent help faster than I expected." "Less talking, more running," Soman urged. As alarms blared and confused Klar troops ran in all directions, the 3 humans sprinted across the bay. Behind them, Commander Doyen and a squad of soldiers burst in, weapons ready. "Stop them," Doyen shouted. But it was too late. The humans had reached safety. As both human ships detached and sped away from the Deathbringer, Doyen knew one thing for certain. This was only the beginning. Commander Doyen stood in the damaged docking bay, watching the cleanup crews work. The humans had escaped, but they had left something behind. Evidence. "Sir," a science officer approached, holding a small device. "We found this near where their ship was docked. It appears to be some kind of data recorder." Doyen took the device. It was solid, built to last, like the humans themselves. "Take it to the lab. I want to know everything about their technology." Back in his private quarters, Doyen accessed the oldest part of the CLAR database. He searched for more information about Deathworlders. The ancient texts held records from the early days of CLAR expansion, when they first ventured into space. The screen filled with warnings. Deathworld Classification System. Class 1. Minor environmental hazards. Class 2. Moderate gravitational stress. Aggressive fauna. Class 3. High gravity. Extreme weather. Dangerous predators. Class 4. Very high gravity. Toxic atmosphere elements. Apex predators. Class 5. Extreme gravity. Constant environmental threats. Intelligent apex predators. Doyen read further. Species from Class 5 worlds possess physical capabilities far beyond galactic norms. Their bones can withstand impacts that would shatter most species. Their muscles can generate force sufficient to break standard restraints. Their respiratory and circulatory systems can process toxins that would kill others instantly. Most importantly, Deathworlders think differently. They evolved in environments where death was always near. They solve problems quickly. They never surrender. They can work together with frightening efficiency. Historical note. The last confirmed Class 5 Deathworld species, the Varkan, nearly conquered 3 sectors before a coalition of 20 species stopped them. The cost was high. Billions of lives lost. Doyen shut down the screen. He needed to report this to the Dominion leadership. The High Council of the CLAR Dominion met in an emergency session. 12 CLAR leaders gathered around a large table, with Doyen standing at attention. "So," said High Commander Myung, the oldest member of the council, "these humans escaped from your ship, and you believe they represent a threat." "I do, High Commander," Doyen replied. "They come from a Class 5 death world. Our ancestors' warnings about such beings are clear." "Nonsense," said Commander Jae-hyun, head of the military fleet. "These Deathworlders are myths from the early space age. Stories to frighten young CLAR." "With respect, Commander," Doyen persisted, "I saw them with my own eyes. 3 of them disabled my security teams and escaped from a fully armed CLAR warship." The council members clicked their mandibles. The CLAR equivalent of dismissive laughter. "Perhaps you need better security teams," suggested Commander Jae-hyun. From the back of the room, a voice spoke. "He's right." The council turned. An old CLAR stepped forward, his carapace scared and faded. Jinwoo was the most famous assassin in CLAR history, now retired and rarely seen in public. "You should listen to Commander Doyen," Jinwoo said. "I encountered a different Class 5 species once, long ago. The Rith. There were only 2 of them, but they killed my entire team of 12 elite killers." The room fell silent. "How?" asked High Commander Myung. "They never stopped fighting," Jinwoo said simply. "We injured them, poisoned them, trapped them, but they kept coming. Their bodies healed faster than we could damage them. And the way they moved," he shuddered. "If these humans are truly from a Class 5 world, then we have made a terrible mistake by provoking them." As if on cue, a communication officer burst into the room. "High Commander, we've detected multiple human ships entering Sector 7. Our outpost there reports they are scanning everything." And he hesitated. "Speak, ordered Myung. They've already made contact with the Vex Confederation. Intelligence suggests they are sharing information about us. The council erupted in angry clicks and hisses. Doyen looked at Jinwoo, who nodded gravely. It has begun, the old assassin said. The Deathworlders are preparing. And if we're not careful, the Klar Dominion will learn why every veteran killer knows to run when Deathworlders arrive. Commander Jae-hyun stood on the bridge of the Klar Vengeance *, the largest warship in the Dominion fleet. Around him, 19 other Klar vessels moved into attack formation. Their target: 5 human ships that had entered Klar territory. All ships report ready for attack, said his second-in-command. Jae-hyun nodded. The Council's orders are clear. These humans must be eliminated before they become a greater threat. Doyen had advised against this plan. Jinwoo had warned them. But Commander Jae-hyun had convinced the Council that a quick, overwhelming strike would solve the human problem. 20 ships against 5, Jae-hyun said confidently. This will be over quickly. On the lead human vessel, the Earth Defender *, Admiral Minji Han watched the Klar fleet approach. She was small for a human, but her presence commanded respect. Veterans said she had ice in her veins during battle. They're moving into attack formation, reported her tactical officer. 20 vessels, heavily armed. Minji nodded calmly. As expected, they've chosen aggression. Admiral, we're outnumbered 4-1, her second-in-command reminded her. Numbers aren't everything, Captain, Minji replied. She opened the fleet communication channel. All ships, this is Admiral Han. We've trained for this. Remember your Earth history, Thermopylae, Agincourt, Midway. Smaller forces have defeated larger ones throughout our history. Execute Battle Plan Delta. The 5 human ships suddenly changed formation. Instead of facing the Klar head-on, they split into 3 groups, moving quickly in different directions. What are they doing? Jae-hyun demanded. They're dispersing, sir, his tactical officer replied. 2 ships heading to Sector 4, 2 to Sector 6, and 1 remaining in position. They're running, Jae-hyun said with satisfaction. Divide the fleet. Pursue and destroy all of them. The Klar fleet split up, pursuing the human vessels. Just as Jae-hyun had ordered, 5 Klar ships remained to attack the single human vessel. Target their engines first, Jae-hyun commanded. Then their weapons. I want that ship disabled, not destroyed. We need prisoners to study. The 5 Klar ships fired simultaneously. Bright energy beams struck the human vessel's shields. Sir, their shields are holding. The tactical officer reported in shock. Impossible, Jae-hyun hissed. No ship can withstand that much firepower. On the Earth Defender *, Admiral Minji watched her plan unfold. The Earth ships had special shields, designed to absorb and redirect energy. Technology developed from studying other alien species over the past decade. Shields at 82% and holding, reported her engineer. Klar energy weapons are powerful but inefficient. Good, Minji said. Now show them what humans can do. Execute Phase 2. The Earth Defender * suddenly accelerated toward the Klar ships at incredible speed. Before they could react, it was among them, firing precise shots at weak points in their designs. What is happening? Jae-hyun shouted as his sensors showed 2 Klar ships already disabled. How are they moving so fast? Meanwhile, the other human ships had turned around. They weren't running at all. They had led their pursuers away from the main group, then engaged them with surprise attacks. Sir, we're receiving distress calls from all groups. The communication officer reported. The humans. They're winning. Jae-hyun couldn't believe what he was seeing. His carefully planned attack was falling apart. 3 more Klar ships reported critical damage. 4 others had gone silent. All ships, fall back to my position, Jae-hyun ordered. Concentrate fire on the lead human vessel. But it was too late. The Earth Defender had already disabled 2 more Klar ships and was heading straight for the Klar Vengeance *. Admiral Minji opened a communication channel. Her face appeared on Jaehyun's screen. Commander Jaehyun, this is Admiral Minji Han of Earth. Your attack on peaceful exploration vessels cannot be tolerated. Surrender now, or we will be forced to disable your remaining ships. Surrender? To 5 ships? Never. Jaehyun snarled. Minji's face showed no emotion. You had 20 ships. Now you have 8 functional vessels left. We have taken no serious damage. I will ask once more. Surrender. As Jaehyun prepared to refuse again, his tactical officer shouted, Sir, 3 Klar ships have been captured intact. The humans are boarding them. For the first time, fear showed on Jaehyun's face. The humans were not just defeating the Klar, they were taking their ships. Your choice, Commander, Admiral Minji said quietly. Surrender or join your captured comrades. Commander Doyen sat in a room unlike any he had seen before. The walls were a soft blue color. The chair he sat in was padded and adjusted to fit his tall, thin Klar body. The air was filtered to match the composition of his homeworld. He was a prisoner, but not in a cell. The humans called it a guest quarter. The door slid open. Admiral Minji Han entered, followed by Captain Ju Park. Doyen recognized Ju from the interrogation on his ship. That seemed like a long time ago now. Commander Doyen, Minji said with a small bow. I hope you are comfortable. Doyen clicked his mandibles in confusion. Why do you care about my comfort? I am your prisoner. We prefer the term guest until we determine what to do next, Minji replied. On Earth, we try to treat all beings with dignity. Even your enemies? Doyen asked. Especially our enemies, Ju said. It's part of who we are. This made no sense to Doyen. The Klar treated prisoners harshly. It was efficient. It was logical. Commander Jaehyun, Doyen asked. The other ships? Commander Jaehyun surrendered, Minji said. 3 Klar ships were captured. 7 were disabled but allowed to retreat. The rest escaped. Doyen lowered his head. The mighty Klar Dominion fleet, defeated by 5 human ships. Impossible. I would like to show you something, Minji said. Will you come with us? Curious, Doyen followed them. There were no guards, no restraints. Just a human walking with a Klar through the ship. They entered a large room with a view screen covering one wall. Minji pressed a control and the screen lit up. This is Earth, she said. Doyen stared in shock. The planet was blue and green, with swirling white clouds. But what stunned him were the readings. This cannot be right, he said. The gravity, the atmospheric pressure, the temperature ranges. All correct, Ju confirmed. Earth is a Class 5 death world by your standards. Minji touched another control. The screen showed images of Earth's surface. These are some of our predators, she explained. Doyen watched in horror as the screen displayed creatures with teeth, claws, and speed that would terrify any Klar. Creatures that hunted in packs. Creatures that could kill with a single bite. You evolved with these? He asked. We didn't just evolve with them, Ju said. We hunted them. For food. The screen changed again, showing humans running long distances across open plains. This is how our ancestors hunted, Minji explained. They didn't need to be faster than other animals. They just needed to outlast them. Humans can run longer than almost any creature on Earth. We call it persistence hunting, Ju added. We would chase animals until they collapsed from exhaustion. Then we would kill them. Doyen's outer membrane paled. You hunt by exhausting your prey. Minji nodded. Our bodies can cool themselves through sweating. Most animals can't do this. They overheat and must stop. We keep going. The screen showed more images. Humans climbing sheer rock faces, diving into deep water. surviving in frozen wastelands and burning deserts. This is what it means to be from Earth, Minji said. Our planet tried to kill us every day. So we adapted. We survived. We thrived. Doyen understood now. This is why you weren't affected by our interrogation techniques. Your ship's gravity was less than Earth's. Zhu said. Your extreme temperatures were mild to us, the noise that should cause pain. Many Earth cities are louder. Doyen looked at the humans with new eyes, not as enemies, but as survivors of a world he could not imagine. There's something else you should know, Minji said more seriously. When humans feel threatened, our bodies produce a substance called adrenaline. It makes us stronger, faster, and more resistant to pain. You become even more dangerous when attacked, Doyen said quietly. Yes, Minji confirmed. The Klar Dominion has made a serious mistake in treating us as enemies. For the first time in his life, Commander Doyen Kim of the feared Klar Dominion felt something beyond fear. He felt respect. News travels fast in space. Word of the Klar defeat spread to every corner of the galaxy within days. Species that had lived in fear of the Klar Dominion for generations could hardly believe it. 5 human ships had defeated 20 Klar warships. The feared killers of the galaxy had been humbled by newcomers. On the neutral trading station Nexus 7, representatives from 12 different species gathered in secret. They sat around a circular table, each wearing the environmental suit needed for their biology. Is it true? Asked Vex Ambassador Lori. These humans truly defeated the Klar. Our intelligence confirms it, replied Terran diplomat Meza. The Klar lost 12 ships, 7 disabled, 3 captured intact. Impossible, whispered Jackson Minister Polu. No one captures Klar ships. They self-destruct first. The humans disabled their self-destruct systems, Meza explained. No one knows how. The door to the meeting room opened. A human woman entered. She was shorter than most of them expected, with dark hair pulled back neatly and a simple blue uniform. Thank you for meeting with me, she said. I am Jung Hee-yoon, diplomatic envoy from Earth. The alien studied her with a mix of fear and curiosity. She seemed so normal, not the terrifying warrior they had imagined. You don't look dangerous, said Minister Polu bluntly. Jung-hee smiled. On Earth, we have a saying, appearances can be deceiving. She placed a small device on the table. It projected a holographic map of the galaxy, with the Klar Dominion territories highlighted in red. For too long, the Klar have used fear to control this sector, Jung-hee said. They've taken your resources, demanded tribute, and killed anyone who resisted. The alien representatives shifted uncomfortably. It was true, but no one had dared say it aloud before. Humans don't accept bullies, Jung-hee continued. On our world, we learned that standing together is the best defense against those who would use strength to oppress others. What are you proposing? Ambassador Lori asked. An alliance, Jung-hee replied. Equal partners, mutual defense, knowledge sharing, fair trade. The room erupted in discussion. Some were eager, others suspicious. Why would you help us? Meza demanded. What do humans gain? Friends, Jung-hee said simply. Allies, new ideas, cultural exchange. We believe diversity makes us stronger. While the diplomats talked, another meeting was taking place on the Klar homeworld. The High Council had convened to address the crisis. This is a disaster, shouted Commander Jae-yun. His once proud posture was now hunched with shame. The humans have humiliated us. They have shown their true nature, agreed Council Member Tekka. They must be destroyed before more know of our defeat. You still don't understand, said a quiet voice. All heads turned to see Commander Doyen. He had been returned to the Klar as a gesture of good faith by the humans. Many called him a traitor for speaking with the enemy. I have seen Earth through their records, Doyen said. I have learned what shapes these humans. Fighting them directly is suicide. You speak from fear, Jae-hyun accused. I speak from knowledge. Doyen replied. The humans don't want to destroy us. They offered me their friendship even after we attacked them. High Commander Myung raised a hand for silence. The Dominion is divided on this issue. Some call for war, others for diplomacy. Then let us vote, said Jae-hyun. Who stands for the destruction of these Deathworlders? Half the council raised their hands. And who stands for peace with the humans? Asked Doyen. The other half raised their hands. At that moment, a messenger burst into the room. High Commander, we've received word from our border outposts. 12 species have formed an alliance with the humans. They call it the Galactic Cooperation Treaty. The council fell silent. The balance of power had shifted overnight. In his private thoughts, Doyen felt something unexpected. Hope. Perhaps there was a better way than the path of fear the Klar had followed for so long. The age of Klar dominance was ending. The age of human alliance had begun. 3 weeks had passed since the formation of the alliance. The Klar Dominion remained divided, but one faction had made its choice. General Wano, leader of the Klar's elite hunter squadrons, stood before a holographic map showing the location of 2 human colonies. His plan was simple: strike hard, strike fast, and show the galaxy that the Klar were still to be feared. 40 ships, he told his commanders. Our best warriors. The humans will not expect an attack on 2 colonies at once. What about their alliance? Asked one commander. Their allies are weak, Wanho said dismissively. By the time they respond, we will have destroyed the human settlements. The message will be clear, Deathworlders or not. The Klar still rule this sector. Unknown to Wano, his communications were not as secure as he believed. In a small room on the Klar homeworld, Commander Doyen listened to the plans with growing horror. He will start a war we cannot win, Doyen whispered to his ally, the old assassin Jinwoo. Then we must warn the humans, Jinwoo replied. It's the only way to prevent disaster for our people. Using technology given to him by Admiral Minji during his time as a guest, Doyen sent an encrypted message to the human fleet. The response was immediate. Admiral Minji Han received Doyen's warning while her fleet was conducting exercises with their new allies. So, it's happening, she said to Captain Sun Wukang. The hardliners are making their move. General Wano thinks he's setting an ambush for us, Sun Wu observed. But thanks to Commander Doyen, we can set our own trap. Minji smiled. Call in our alliance partners. It's time to show the Klar what happens when they threaten humans and their friends. As General Wano's fleet approached the human colony on Proxima B, everything seemed to be going according to plan. Their sensors showed minimal defenses, just as expected. The Second Fleet reported similar findings at the Alpha Centauri colony. Begin the attack, Wano ordered. No mercy. The Klar ships moved into attack formation, but as they approached the colony, their sensors suddenly detected new contacts. Sir, called out the sensor officer, multiple ships appearing from behind the planet's moon. How many? Wano demanded. 15. No, 20. 30. The officer's voice rose in panic. Sir, they're human ships, and others. Ships from at least 8 different species. Wano stared at the tactical display in disbelief. His ambush had become a trap. Admiral Minji's voice came through on all Klar communication channels. General Wano, this is Admiral Minji Han of the Earth Defense Fleet and the Galactic Cooperation Forces. Your attack on peaceful colonies violates all interstellar laws. Surrender now. Never, Wano snarled. Klar do not surrender. All ships, attack. The Klar vessels charged forward, weapon systems firing. But the human-led fleet was ready. They moved with coordination that seemed impossible for ships from different species. From his command ship, Wano watched in horror as his carefully planned assault fell apart. The humans fought with a ferocity that shocked even the battle-hardened Klar, but it wasn't just their strength that was terrifying. It was their adaptability. When the Klar changed tactics, The humans countered immediately. When the Klar tried to retreat, the humans predicted their escape routes. When the Klar attempted to target the weaker Allied ships, the humans were there to protect them. "Sir," his second-in-command reported, "half our fleet is disabled or destroyed. The second attack fleet reports similar losses. We must retreat." But it was too late. The human ships had surrounded them. On her command deck, Admiral Minji gave her final order. "All ships, disable their engines and weapons. Minimal casualties if possible. We want prisoners, not corpses." As Wano's ship lost power, he finally understood what Commander Doyen and the old assassin Jinwoo had tried to warn the Council about. These humans weren't just physically strong. They did something far more dangerous. They worked together. They learned. They adapted. And that made them the most fearsome species in the galaxy. 6 months after the failed ambush, the galaxy had changed. The old powers were learning to live with a new reality. Humans were here to stay. On the neutral station Nexus 7, representatives from 23 species gathered in the Grand Chamber. The room buzzed with different languages, translated instantly by small devices developed by human and Vex engineers working together. At the center of the chamber stood a simple round table. Admiral Minji Hen sat there, along with Commander Doyen, who now represented the reformed Klar Confederation. "The final treaty is ready for signing," announced diplomat Jun Hee-yoon. "The Death World Protection Accord will ensure that no species uses force to dominate another." One by one, the representatives came forward to sign. Species that had been enemies for generations now stood side by side. The Klar, once feared across the galaxy, were now just one voice among many. When it was Doyen's turn, he paused before signing. "Is something wrong, Commander?" Minji asked quietly. "I am thinking of how much has changed," Doyen replied. "For centuries, the Klar believed strength meant dominating others. You humans taught us otherwise." "How so?" Minji was curious. "True strength comes from lifting others up, not pushing them down," Doyen said. "On our world, this was seen as weakness. Now we understand it is the greatest strength of all." After the ceremony, Minji and Doyen walked through the station's botanical garden. Plants from dozens of worlds grew together, each in its own carefully managed environment. "What happened to General Wano?" Minji asked. "He faced justice for his actions," Doyen said, "but not death. That was your suggestion, and it surprised many Klar. In our tradition, failed leaders do not survive." "Killing is easy," Minji replied. "Learning from mistakes is harder, but more valuable." They stopped at a viewpoint overlooking the docking bays. A new type of ship was being constructed, larger than previous vessels, with sections designed for different species to coexist. "The first joint exploration vessel," Doyen observed. "Klar, human, Vex, Terran, and others, all on one ship." "The universe is vast," Minji said. "We'll explore it better together than apart." In another part of the station, a training center had been established. Here, security forces from all allied species learned from each other. At the center of the main training room, the old Klar assassin Jinwoo demonstrated combat techniques to a mixed group of students. "Balance is key," he instructed. "Each species has strengths and weaknesses. Together, you are stronger than alone." A young Klar recruit raised his hand. "Master Jinwoo, why did you support alliance with the humans? You were the most feared assassin in the Dominion." Jinwoo looked at the recruit with his 4 old eyes. "Because I am old enough to recognize true power when I see it. And true power isn't about killing. It's about surviving, adapting, working together." He pointed to a human instructor helping a Vex student with a movement. "Humans come from a world that tried to kill them every day. Yet they didn't just survive, they thrived. Not by dominating their world, but by understanding it, by working together." The young Klar seemed confused. "But they defeated our best ships, our best warriors." "Yes," Jinwoo agreed. "And then they offered us peace. That is why even veteran killers run when Deathworlders arrive. Not just because humans are strong in body, but because they are strong in spirit. As night fell on the station, Commander Doyen stood in his quarters, looking at the stars. A message arrived from the Klar homeworld. The last faction, opposing alliance with humans, had finally agreed to join the new confederation. The age of the Klar Dominion was truly over. The age of cooperation had begun. And it had all started with 3 humans who had survived a Klar interrogation room. Doyen smiled, a gesture he had learned from his human friends. The galaxy would never be the same again. And that was a good thing.